Hey YouTube, I'm Ross Stewart with Stewart Media Digital, and today I'm talking about the top 5 things I think everyone should have to capture photo and or video during travel. Now, I travel a ton for work and I love using my free time on work trips to go out and capture extra fun photos or video, and I also love taking my gear with me when I'm on my own personal vacations. So let's get into it. Now, my favorite lens to bring for anything where I want to get a cityscape or a landscape is my 16 to 35 2.8. Now, it works pretty well in low light situations, but it also has a really nice range from 16 to 35 to get those nice wide landscapes, cityscapes, but you can also zoom into 35 and get some tighter shots. 35 is still wide, but it gives you a nice variety, a nice range. Alternatively, you can use something like a 12 to 24. I recently reviewed that lens from a trip to Iceland, and I really loved having the ability to go all super wide all the way to 12 millimeters. But in a lot of situations, I kept it a little bit more towards the 24 millimeter range. So any wide angle will do the trick for most situations. Now, next up on the topic of lenses, I like to bring some kind of telephoto. This is my 70 to 200. It's great for portraits, or if you want to zoom in a little bit. It's good for some wildlife. You can also bring something like a cheaper 70 to 300 or a 100 to 400. I recently reviewed a 200 to 600 that I took with me on a trip to Iceland, and I really liked that lens for birds and wildlife. I already know in the comments people are gonna say something like, what about a 24 to 70 or a standard zoom range? I have taken those on trips and I tend not to use them that much. That middle range between 35 and 70, I don't really end up using that much because it's not really practical for landscapes or for wildlife photos. So that's why if I'm only taking 2 lenses, I will choose my wide and my telephoto. Next up, if you're going to get into travel photo or video or both, get yourself a drone. This is the DJI MAVIC 3. I really love this one for its ability to fold up small and fit into backpacks or small cases. This is great for aerial video, aerial photography, time lapses going into a city, exploring the wilderness. There's so many cool shots that I absolutely recommend getting a drone for. They're a lot of fun to fly. There is a learning curve, and at least in the US, if you want to use it commercially in any way, including selling stock photography, you do need a license, but it's pretty easy to get. Next up, something I absolutely love bringing with me when I travel is my DJI Pocket. This is the version 2. It has a lot of cool shooting modes. The photo mode, honestly, the photos coming out of here are not too great, but the video is really decent, especially for a camera this size. And I love this camera for a few reasons. One, it's super small, so I don't really have to worry about lugging around any kind of big gear with me for some good video. It is not great in low light though. The low light performance is decent at best, but if you're walking around a city or you want some cool video of you hiking through the woods or something like that, this is a really great option for that. But the thing I love about this the most is the time lapses and motion lapses. I love just setting this up on a stand with an extra battery pack and creating really long time lapses. Obviously, you can do this with a big camera, but that takes a little bit more setup. This one, you just put it down, swipe over time lapse, and get it going. and I've used this in a bunch of different cities. I've used this in Iceland. I do time lapses, motion lapses, and it's all been very quick, easy, convenient, and I never leave without this thing. Next up, the newest addition to my travel kit is the GoPro Hero Black 10. Any of the recent GoPros are going to be really good. They have something called Hyper Smooth, so instead of being bouncy all over the place like the original couple GoPros, they do give you really nice footage. Mine has overheated a couple times. I do live in Texas, where during the summer it can be up to 110. So I can't blame it that much for overheating, but I really love the versatility of something like this. It has really cool shooting modes. It shoots up to 5.3K. So you can crop in quite a bit if you want to shoot ultra wide and then crop in. It also has some time-lapse functionality, but most importantly, it's small, it's durable, and it's waterproof up to 30 meters. So you can go snorkeling with this, you can play around in the pool with this. You can use it in the rain without having to worry at all. And it just has a lot of great functionality. Now again, it's only okay in low light, but overall the video quality coming out of this is surprisingly good. All right, so that is my top 5, but before I let you guys go, I wanna give you a couple quick bonus items. This is my MANFROTTO BEFREE Live. This is a tiny, folds up really small tripod that is great for travel. It fits in a small suitcase, it fits in a backpack, but it extends to be just as tall as most other tripods at over 5 feet, and it's pretty stable. It's also polycarbonate. I've used this in seawater and it hasn't rusted, and I've never had any issues with it, and I absolutely love that this folds up so small and I can take it traveling without any issues. Also, be sure to get one of these waterproof sleeves for your camera. There's a few different types. I really like this one. It's reusable, unlike the thin plastic ones. You just put your hands through here and it keeps your camera nice and protected. It really sucks if you really want to get a shot, but there's some rain, so you choose not to take your gear out. This kept my camera and lens safe when I was like 15 feet from a giant waterfall. I was completely soaked, but my camera and lens were just fine thanks to this thing. So definitely, if you're traveling, be sure to get one of those so you don't have to miss a shot. And last little bonus thing is get a nice travel bag. This is the ProTactic BP 450 AW2. I'll leave a link for this in the description below if you're interested in checking it out. I have used a ton of travel bags. This is my absolute favorite. I was able to fit my drone, 3 camera bodies, the little tripod I just showed, big lenses, and it all fit very comfortably. I'll do an entire review on this if you guys are interested, but it fit a lot of stuff, and I hiked with this thing. I've been to a bunch of different cities traveling around, and I really loved it. So be sure to get a nice, comfortable travel bag that is designed for camera equipment to keep your camera stuff safe. And I do have individual reviews for all of this stuff coming up, so if you're interested in any of that, be sure to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.